I think we need to have a real conversation about New World's impact on the Elder Scrolls Online. No, this video is not going to be a hit piece on ESO or New World. Both games have strengths and weaknesses, and ultimately, I root for people to enjoy video games. But as a hardcore ESO player, I've got to say, I'm worried. This video, I'm going to show you why I'm worried, what I think the problem is, and what I think can be done. I know this video is going to be controversial, but if you've tuned in for a long time, you know this. I'll keep it real, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Leave me a comment below whether you agree or disagree, because I'm interested in what you think. Buckle up for safety. We're about to blast off. Deltia, did you try New World? Are you going to play New World? What'd you think of New World? Yes, I played New World's closed beta about a month or so ago, and I really didn't care for it. I only ended up playing about 3 hours before I got frustrated and realized this probably isn't the game for me. Why? I felt the game was a mix between Dark Souls combat and Ultima Online sandbox crafty nature. This forced me to farming harvest nodes, chopping down trees, and things I used to do in the 90s and early 2000s MMO, and I just don't like that. It frankly didn't appeal to me. I'm not hating on the game. People can think and enjoy whatever they want. Within a few hours, I knew this game wasn't for me, and I wasn't going to spend 1,000+ hours in it, so I moved on. But what was interesting me is just as much as I didn't like it, people absolutely loved it. They loved the sandbox nature of the game, the exploration, the graphics, the feel, and of course the combat. I'll pass on New World, but we'll try futures games like Ashes of Creation, Baldur's Gate 3, and so forth. But regardless of my likes and dislikes, is New World the next WoW killer? I'm old enough to remember games like, well, WildStar, which were going to be the alleged next WoW killer. When I was playing Star Wars Old Republic, every day in the fleet, you'd have your typical salty PvPers sitting on top of the quest box shouting, "They're gonna turn the SOTOR servers off after this game launches." And every MMO I've played, the next MMO is always the best thing. History is the best indicator of the future, and I wagered the exact same thing would happen with New World. And boy, was I wrong. In fact, according to CNET, New World hit 700,000 concurrent players on launch day on Steam and peaked around 900,000 on Sunday of launch week. That's almost 1 million concurrent players in an MMO. An MMO that focuses heavily on PvP, I mind you. New World was right there with the biggest games on Earth, and at least on launch showed that the MMO genre wasn't dead, far from it, and MMO players were looking for the next big thing. And many streamers fled to cover this interest, and I wasn't one of them. No, I'm not sharing this to be some high and mighty, die-on-the-sword ESO content creator and streamer, but because I saw a significant dip in my viewership, website metrics, you name it, all down. And no, I'm not telling you this because I'm a victim or I want some pity party, but this is what caused me to start researching this after my anecdotal experience. Not to mention PvP on PCNA felt dead, as in completely dead. For instance, usually when I log in at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard right before I start streaming on Twitch, I check Cyrodiil to see if there's any action if I want to jump in there straight away. Now across the board, Gray Host should be renamed Ghost Host. One bar across the board, nothing going on, and it's been that way for weeks. Dead. Meanwhile, PCU still has a healthy population, which is why I've been playing on that server more and more. I finally got fed up and started investigating a little bit further, and a site that I relied on previously was Twitch Tracker. This shows general statistics for games and streamers and channels and so forth. What I saw next, well, shocked me. Well, I went down the Twitch statistic rabbit hole and found some things shocking because ESO is probably not going to send this to me. Is this all-consuming metrics to see how well the game is doing? No, but Twitch is a general snapshot for general interest in your game. I pulled this data on October 12, 2021, the date, ironically, ESO started a double XP event. More on that later. The first thing that stuck out to me was just how far ESO had fallen in the rankings, not even in the top 100. I was shocked. And where was New World? Number 5. Losing a lot of viewers, but number 5? That's a lot of interest. Also, if you look hard at this graph, what do all of these games have in common? Well, mine is just chatting. They have PvP, and you could argue that they're PvP focused. I want to hammer that home. PvP. Player versus player, competition, destruction, blowing up things, swords, guns, sabers, whatever. It's popular. This isn't an ethical video debating if that's healthy or good, but it's fact. People love PvP in games. Then when I looked at exactly where ESO ranked among other games, it was just ahead of software and game development and behind, wait for it, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Okay, not to dwell here or beat up on ESO, I'm just pointing out my initial speculation that New World had a massive impact. This begs the question, is the Elder Scrolls Online in trouble? Do I think the Elder Scrolls Online is in trouble and it's going to fade away like MMOs of the past? No, I do not. In fact, I think New World hitting Elder Scrolls over the head with a hammer is one of the best things to happen to the game because it might cause a lot of change and a refocus. Do you think it's a coincidence that the Elder Scrolls Online suddenly post New World launch decided to have a second community challenge, and that second community challenge led to an 8-day double XP event? Moreover, they also added a ESO Plus trial for a week long, and furthermore, they responded openly and candidly about the deathmatch change in PvP, which was very refreshing to hear and see on their forums. I don't think it's coincidence at all, and feels it's exactly what the game needs during a super dull point, a shot in the arm, getting us closer to a much needed quality of life update 32. It's a sign that ZOS is listening and trying to come up with some ways to attract players to Elder Scrolls Online, and I imagine that's just the start. Essentially, New World could be the exact thing we need to spur change. Okay, Deltia, what do you think the reason is? The game has been losing interest, hemorrhaging new players. I don't think it's just New World, and I have 3 ideas as to why. Number 1, no major update or focus on PvP content when clearly the general gamer and MMO player has a lot of interest in this aspect. Number 2, complete gutting or overhauling of major systems constantly, like champion points, armor passive, hybridizing gear sets. For the last year, every 3 months, it's been a complete revamp, and people are getting tired of completely reworking their builds only to get 1 month or so of enjoyment until the next major change. Blackwood chapter, specifically companions as the main selling point behind the expansion, was a complete flop amongst the general population. I forget that they're even in-game and rarely see them being used beyond Overland Story. ESO, in my opinion, chose to focus on a small niche part of the game and not the broader community, and it hurt their product. If we look back at 2021 so far, what exactly have we gotten? A few dungeons, a trial, companions. Compare that to the Morrowind chapter or even Imperial City DLC. Imperial City DLC gave us 2 great dungeons, White Gold Tower and Imperial City Prison, along with the Imperial City Zone, which is massive, robust, and has a lot of replayability. 2021 has been lackluster compared to previous years, though the Rock Grove trial was a banger. Delty, are you being a salty hater at this game? No, in fact, I only criticize things I like or love. Do you see me breaking down Fortnite weapon additions? Do you see me going through the latest Call of Duty update? No, because I don't care about those games. I only criticize things I really care for deeply, and Elder Scrolls Online is one of them. What can be done to fix this? I'm going to say this as nice as possible so we don't have another Templar Burial 2.0. ZOS, for the love of God, you got to focus on PvP. You don't need to hire a fleet of MBA grads to do a market analysis giving you data on whether or not PvP makes money. Look at the top games on planet Earth. Look at New World's impact on your game, PvP economy, and Twitch. In the words of Todd Howard, PvP, it just works. If I'm being 100% honest with you, it feels like Elder Scrolls Online End Game went from becoming Emperor in Cyrodiil to doing crafting reds. PvPers need a highly functional sandbox where we can create our own fun. Luckily, we have the best one out there, Cyrodiil. Sadly, it doesn't work well, nor is the population robust. I've heard they're working on it, and I heard that crossplay isn't possible, though Destiny 2 just did it, and that game has never been doing better. Fine, if Cyrodiil is not gonna get fixed, why don't we reinvent Imperial City or some other zone area? For instance, what if we made the top part of Imperial City or some new area or zone now become an instance-based 15v15v15 intense battleground capture the flag / deathmatch hybrid? Put big incentives on the line. Winners get 15 transmutes after after a 30-minute match or mats or something else big and dramatic. And there needs to be a new type of catch-up mechanic to attract new players and allow them to perform at a high level quickly. When you start ESO, you work on leveling to 50. You reach that only to find out you need to get to 160 champion points in order to have long-lasting relevant gear. Only to hear that this max CP is 3,600 and that people have already reached that. Then you ask yourself, why even start? Also, put in some seasonal type of rewards, cyclical, quarterly based on your DLC release cadence, where you get special prizes for Battlegrounds, Imperial City, dungeons, trials, arenas, heck, even crafting writs. It resets every 3 months with new incentives to come back and complete it. I'm gonna say it out loud here, and this is not gonna be a popular take, but I think once a year, or once in a while, there needs to be a massive power reset to allow everyone a fresh place to start. Why not raise the level cap or the gear champion point cap or some global reset where everyone has to start over at an equal playing field? Deltia, why would you want to throw away all that hard work? Because the game is hemorrhaging players and you have very little new players coming in. And MMO is only as good as its population, and without crossplay ever coming to ESO, what's the alternative to attract new players? Add another house, another companion, another dungeon? No, I don't think so. Here's how ESO End Game looks currently. You're going to need to spend around 300 plus hours at least to be on the same competitive playing field as me. You got to level character or characters to End Game, then max out your guild skill line, farm up grind and collect relevant mythics, work on getting Master Crafter, obtain a relevant gear set, find about 300 skill points, reach 1,500 champion points. Do you want me to continue? Or I can find some random shooter out there, click 5 buttons, and within minutes I'm fighting at a relatively same power level as my opponents. What's more attractive to you as a new player? ESO is my favorite MMORPG of all time. I'll never forget hitting puncturing sweeps in Bleak Rock Isles for the first time on my Templar. I'll never forget getting Emperor on my Stamsork. I'll never forget completing Dragonstar Arena after death flopping for 8 hours. And I'll never forget or regret the time I've spent with some of the coolest people on planet Earth. And I want this to continue. I don't want to go play another game or see ESO evaporate like MMOs of the past. And truthfully, I'm optimistic about its future. Zoss has already done something and reacted by creating a secondary community challenge which led to double XP. Is that enough? No, but it's a start, and hopefully this video will get their attention. Maybe my ideas are crap, maybe there's some gold there, but if you're with me, please share this video, leave a comment, and hopefully we can get their attention. Thanks for watching.